Notes. I should have notes. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I got my notes. Let's see, I'm gonna move this over here because I don't need most of my mouse. Then I'm gonna move this here, move this here. Here we go. And then I use my pencil to mark my spot. There we go. Spot. There we go. There we go. Sound a little mechanical there. What's up with that? There we go. There we go. Hello. Sound a little mechanical there. What's up with that? There we go. Eh, whatever. I don't care. All right. Let's go. At everyone trying to finish off Alpha Protocol. Sorry, it's so late. You know, in theory, it's not that late if you live in, like, I don't know, California. So, you know, I don't know. Or Malaysia. Somewhere fun like that. Let's see. Move this over here. Scratch my ear because I got itchy ear syndrome. And let's move over to here. And over to here. And yeah, so what we have to do on this one tonight is we have to finish up with Rome. But I remember Rome is the shortest. I think Rome is the shortest. I think it has the least amount of missions. That's fucking loud. That's so loud. I believe Rome has the least amount of missions. So, although it does have a stealth mission, which will take a while. And yeah, honestly, I think the stealth mission's going to be the long one. Most of Rome is just dialogue. There is one mission that's kind of glitchy, though. But then after that, all that we have is the finale. And the finale, I don't know how long the finale is going to take. It might take longer than I'm expecting. I guess we'll see. Alright. Anyway, while we're at it, let's look around Rome. See, we have the Stephen Heck detergent bottle. I'm getting, like, disoriented by,
I think there's enough coke residue on this knife to get very, very high.
I'm getting disoriented by having, the game in the other screen. It's a nice bathroom. I don't know how I feel about wooden sinks, though. Hello, got back from a date, now my whole body hurts from walking. How'd the date go, though? I don't know how I feel about wooden sinks. That seems like a recipe for disaster. Also, welcome, Kato. I'd ask you how you doing, but you told me.
Why do I get the feeling she actually likes that I shot her repeatedly?
Wooden sinks are the new fad. I mean, it just seems like it looks cool, don't get me wrong, aesthetically. It just seems like the more water pools up in the sink, the more damage is going to be done to the wood. Like, it just seems like a recipe for disaster, quite frankly. Like, if you've ever seen what a lot of water does to wood, the idea of having a wooden sink sounds like a terrible idea to me. It was for your 6-month anniversary. Ooh, nice. I'm pretty sure it's not an anniversary at 6 months, but but that's semantics, and I'm just being a dickhead because of wood rot. Because of wood rot. Going out for 6 months, seriously. Yeah, no, I gotcha. I don't know what game I've been playing where I think B is the run button. But apparently I thought B was the run button. Oh, yeah, Valkyria Revolution. That game is bad, by the way. This is the first one with a hot tub. Haven't been to a hot tub for a while. Haven't been on a date in a while either. By the way, hi Max here. I did notice that you were in a different color, so I didn't confuse you. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, this is the only one with a hot tub. So you go anywhere special? Where'd you go? What was the date? Take me on the journey. But, like, the mind journey. Doing okay. Good to hear. Can I vent for a second about... I live near an airport, and it is the most obnoxious thing ever, because, like, 24/7 there are planes going over my head, and it is so annoying. I try to record audio for my anime channel, and, like, seriously cannot get I cannot get through a 3-minute recording without a damn plane going overhead. It's so obnoxious. Movie and dinner and an arcade. We were gonna go bowling, but the alley was full. That sucks. I've went bowling once. I was pretty good at it. I went with a group of friends. That actually was on a date. It was the first time I'd ever went bowling, and I sucked for the first, like, 3 or 4, and then I just kept getting straight strikes, because Sack is an amazingly quick learner. Anyway, bragging aside, I have not even seen an arcade in years. So it's impressive you were even near enough to an arcade. But what was the movie and the dinner? What'd you watch? What'd you eat? Me a few minutes ago. Sack ain't gonna be on tonight. I'll play more P5. I get playing to the batting cages and my phone goes. I needed to stream tonight because I got to get through Alpha Protocol. I got to. Where the hell am I going? We have to intercept NSA intelligence. National Security Hub and a gelato shop. Okay. We watched a stupid comedy you don't even remember the name of. That good, huh? Fair enough. How you doing, mate? How's it going? How's P5 treating you? You got through the boat, I saw. There's an arcade next to the record store here. There used to be an arcade in my movie theater, but I haven't been to a movie theater in a very long time. It's been a very long time. It has been a while. A National Security Administration echelon hub is concealed within a gelato shop in Rome. Infiltrate the shop, tap into the intelligence server, and see if you can pick up anything on Elsamad or Halbach's activities in Rome. We went to a buffet, not romantic like at all, but the food was good. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to put this out here. I personally believe that having good food and a good time is more important than a traditional romantic evening. Like, if everyone's having fun, that's okay. You know, you're serving your purpose. I don't know. That's me. Similar reasons for not streaming. I said like 300 constant airplanes, because airplanes are a problem. Pretty convenient because I like going to both. Fair enough. Like a vinyl record, because that's what I think of when I think of record stores.
I think I just got salmonella by looking at this place.
Gotta keep the public from dropping in for a cone.
Good point. I'd say their cover is working beautifully.
Okay. You'll need to come up with a good reason to be here. Looks like they're scheduled for server maintenance and security upgrades this month. That might get
Maxed
you in.
out everyone except Futaba, Haru, and a Y, but I started a Y way too late, so I won't finish in period, which sucks because social link is great.
Remember, if the
Constant
post is
family
compromised,
issues?
they'll shut it down.
Oh.
We'll lose our access.
That
You'll also need to give
sucks.
the correct handshake code to identify yourself as an agent.
Secret handshakes? What are we, the Shriners?
It's a specific passphrase that rotates on a monthly basis. You give the correct phrase, they give the correct response, and you both know everything's on the level.
So what's the code?
Yeah, luckily I don't really have to
That's
deal with
beautiful this time of
constant
year.
family
They should
issues.
respond with,
But
yes, but the Alps are lovely all year
but
long.
I have
Got it.
been
Let's see if
there
anybody's
in
home.
my younger years. Friend's house got McDonald's, and I actually had McDonald's yesterday, I think. I had McDonald's. And it didn't make me feel sick, which I consider a win.
Can I help you?
I'm here to fix the computers.
We don't have a problem with the computer.
This
I hear the Adirondacks are
scene
beautiful.
would be so nerve-wracking for me. Could you imagine being a secret agent, giving the secret passphrase, and then you don't they don't respond correctly?
Yeah. Say,
Ugh.
about those Adirondacks.
I told you I don't like mountains. Come on. I'll show you the...
This is also
That's not
quite
the
possibly
response. Stay on guard, Mike.
the most hairy man I've ever seen in a video game.
So, my friend, what do you need?
Nothing serious. Just here to upgrade your security systems.
Oh, okay, you got it. So, no more computer troubles, eh?
You should be all set. Fort Meade can rest easy now.
Hey, my friend. Gone to go?
I didn't think I was all that knowledgeable on anime until yesterday. I mean, you've seen your fair share. Intercept NSA intelligence. Agent Thornton successfully infiltrated an NSA echelon hub under the cover of a Roman gelato shop. Code signals were not immediately recognized, indicating a possible breach of operational security. The agent manning the station may not have been NSA at all. Despite the proprietor's unusual behavior, Agent Thornton navigated the conversation without raising suspicion and was able to depart without incident. So, like, the game doesn't tell you, but that guy is either a
I just
genius...
detected a source within the VCI branch office doing a search for your profile. Although they've got the height wrong.
I'm taller in person. Sounds like Marburg needs to hire a brighter book.
That guy is either a genius or absolutely unrelated, and it, like,
I have the
it's
workstation
kind
file.
of nerve-wracking to
It's
me.
using the workstation Parker used while he was undercover as a Halbeck contractor.
What?
The ID on the badge used to access the office is a Madison St. James.
Can you kill the trace and start reformatting the hard drive from remote?
I think you mentioned this in Discord. You did,
Got a
but my
picture.
friend talks
Call
about
it
someone saying anime that have you heard of
She's pretty.
Jujutsu Kaisen? He's like,
Recognize
yeah,
her?
everyone has. Jujutsu, if you haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, it's actually
Just like
decent,
Marburg.
first off,
We've got a way to
and
get to
it's very well animated, and I would recommend it. I have an upcoming episode of Popcorn, which, speaking of which, while I got everyone here, new show dropped on my anime channel, Shouting Through the Chorus, in youtube.com, Shouting Through the Chorus. Links in the Discord. New show, Popcorn. It's just like water, except it's only one show, and also I release it more often. So look forward to that. Next week, there's also another new show where I just re-release old segments from Water, but like just that one show as like a whole episode. It's a whole thing. It's so far working great because the main idea was to increase watch time and searchability, and honestly, it's working so far. So, hey, I'm getting better at marketing, which is how you actually become famous on the internet, is marketing. You think it's entertainment? It isn't. You could be the least entertaining person in the world and still make it big if you know how to market and network. And I don't. So, let's see. Saw my horror me of it. There you go. There you go. I think that one was pretty decent. I be honest with you? I recently recorded audio about an anime I watched that was pretty good called Robbie Hachi. And I finished recording the audio, and I thought to myself, man, that audio sucked. That audio just sucked. Everything about it sucked. But I was genuinely too lazy to re-record it. So watch Robbie Hachi because it's a good show, but I'm going to warn everyone now, that video isn't good. It is bad. I think the sound quality was a little messed up in that one, and also I don't feel like I said anything meaningful. I'm not proud of it, and I'm aware it's terrible. But let's see. Download. This email was sent from NSA TAP to established in Rome. Previous Rick. Found this data segment in Echelon cache. Thought you'd like it since the data's talking about the same Conrad Marburg fellow you were pursuing. If you already have this data, junk it. Otherwise, add it to the file. Luke. You watched a good anime? Damn, I'm jealous. I finished a shitty one. What did you see? What did you see? Yeah, Robbie Hachi was actually pretty good. I think right now I'm playing through a game of Civ 5, so I'm not really doing anything useful at all. I'm playing Greece. My idea for playing Civilization is I pick only characters. I pick civilizations with leaders I think are cool. That's my criteria for who I play in Civ 5. Marketing and network, especially on YouTube, is insanely easy. It's just that there isn't much reliable information that you can find on the fly. Yeah. Well, a lot about it is like cross-platform promotion, and a lot of like higher-level marketing tactics seem really scummy to me, so I don't do them. So I just don't market, honestly. That's a big issue with me, is I do not market. Is that the Coliseum? Yeah, that's just straight up the Coliseum. This is a good house if you can see the Coliseum. Dance with Devils. I've never seen that before. But, yeah, so I think I'm going to watch Orisuke. I think that's what's next on my list. I really want to get through my 2019 anime list. Oh, boy. All right, I'm not looking forward to this. That's my goal. My goal this year is to get through all the anime I chose for 2019. I saw art for it and thought, that looks okay. What is this? First thing I read, from the creators of Diabolic Lovers. Then I learned it was a musical. Oh, boy. Okay. Then I learned it was a musical, and at that point I had to see it. The best part was the dub actors just straight up can't sing. Got insanely liking in gaming scene with being friends or mutual friends already pretty established YouTube channels, so I got info pretty easily. Yeah. Well, it's not like it's... I'm sure there's like a lot of like higher level marketing tactics I don't know of, but it's also like I don't market ever, so... so it won't really help me. Alright, we're going to go on a stealth mission. So we're going to go integrated circuitry. Honestly, adrenaline optimizer is probably a good one. Slightly reduce enemy sight range. Reduce enemy sight range. Moderate time delay for being spotted by cameras. What we're going to do is improve digital camouflage. And then... do we do adrenaline optimizer, or do we do multispectral flashbulb? Twitter and TikTok are your best friends. Absolutely, and I use neither of them. I have never been on TikTok. Fun fact. I walked away from that rising my Diabolic Lovers score. It was insanely bad. I know Mama Sack was a Diabolic Lover's plan. Do you plan on pushing beyond YouTube algorithm? Yeah. Yeah, it's all about, like, diversifying. Like, diversification is a big thing. Y'all seen the recent Twitch news, though, about changes in the partner program? I don't know if it will affect the... I don't know if it affects the associate program or not. But YouTube Shorts are also popping. Yeah, I get a lot of, like, recommendations for YouTube Shorts lately. But, yeah, I don't know. It's like, the latest Twitch news really makes me want to... Because I've been wanting to do it for years, but I was afraid about the audience, like, turnover. Like, God, I would love to switch over to YouTube Gaming, quite frankly. Because Twitch is going to shit in a handbasket real quick. Diabolic Lovers is bad, but I get some weird enjoyment from it. Personally, I've never seen it. It's a show I'll never watch by myself again. These days, it's just, hey, want to watch this? Alright, who's ready to sneak? A CIA listening post has been set up in an abandoned apartment building. The agents are running an investigation in Alsamad and Rome, and they likely have useful intel. Infiltrate the listening post, download results of their investigation, and plant a bug in the system to retrieve further developments. If possible, avoid detection, and do not engage American agents. You've acquired a dossier write-up for CIA agents who you're likely to face in the mission. A former CIA agent provided you with security information that will make breaking into the security networks much easier. Alright. So, this is going to be a pain in the butt, but we have to not be seen again. You know how I said we were done with stealth missions? I was wrong. I was just straight wrong. Something as simple as putting an insane scene from an obscure anime and talking in a calm voice explaining the scene, or the anime is insanely popular in short scene. Really? That's all I do!
Will do. Going to take a quick look around.
That's my whole thing, actually. Same with Uritsuki Doji. I've seen it by myself like twice, and I've showed it to a bunch of friends. TikTok as well? Huh. I'm not a fan of TikTok in concept. Because I'm not a big fan of supporting Chinese companies.
Cables.
Nothing against Chinese people. It's the Chinese government I'm not a fan of.
All right, I'll check downstairs. Probably.
About the same for me. I know Diabolic Lovers is bad, but it's weirdly engaging. All you gotta do is condense everything into short bits. Which, oddly enough, probably fits. I'm not sure. You think it has to be like a minute for shorts, though, right? So I'm not sure how much I could actually talk about in a minute. I think some of them work better for shorts than others. Because honestly, I feel like for like a 12-minute review, I feel like for a 12-minute review, the amount of time I talk about an anime is already relatively short. You could probably, like... I could probably clip it if I wanted to get into the short scene. I don't think that's a terrible idea. That might actually be something to look into. Sucks for you, like 90% of stuff here is made in China. Oh, yeah, sure. But there's a difference between, like, Chinese manufacturing and... The thing in shorts is the lack of information provided what draws people into what you're talking about. I'm not fully sure what you mean by that, to be honest. I mean, if we're being honest, I'm probably not going to do any of this, but it is still fun to talk about. This is probably more effort than I'm willing to put in. Because the part of the idea about, honestly, my whole deal is putting in as little effort as possible. Curiosity thing? So I'm probably not going to put in the effort to make shorts in the first place.
Accessing the database. Downloading the software.
All right. Receiving. We're good.
Listening in on the listening post. Gotta love this job.
Wah! And that is why I made the correct decision to put on digital camouflage. Because that man looked right at me. Woo! Here's some confirmation, I guess. Confirmation about what? I am not in a position to tab out. I'm going to tell you that right now. I love talking about YouTube and social networking in general. It's one of your dream jobs. Okay, like a media manager or like influencer. For someone who plays a decent amount of stealth games, you're bad at stealth games. Oh boy, am I. Well, my idea of playing stealth games is usually I shoot everyone in the face. So, to be fair. Influencer, manager. Okay, cool. You don't see a lot of people talking about the managerial side, actually. From Terrence Granger to Vince Foreman, AP. Vince, do the letters of AP mean anything to you? And no. Please, oh please, don't bring up your porn-inspired interpretation of what the letters might mean. I might be hallucinating, but I was running skims on the echelon, and I could have sworn I picked up a ton of emails with AP in the subject tags. But as soon as I looked, they were gone, like someone yanked them out of the filter just as soon as I saw them. As I typed that, I realized how insane it sounds. Anyway, let me know if that makes any sense. Now, speaking of eavesdropping on emails, you might just want to tell your wife about your girlfriend because, well, if you're a sailor with a girl at every port, she's a girl with a sailor on every ship. And seriously, that woman sends the filthiest emails I've read. And I read, everyone's emails. Terrence. Surprising considering the high demand for social media managers and social media account managers and connections you can make through it. Yeah, no, honestly, I imagine it'd be a pretty good job. One of my 10 dream jobs is writing those shitty top 10 lists for bad pay. And honestly, I believe you can get that job. If that's where you're setting your sights made, I believe you can acquire that pretty easily. All you need to do for those jobs is, because you get paid by the word and by like audience retention, is write the most you can about absolutely nothing. That's the goal. It doesn't even have to make sense, and you don't even have to stand by it. It just, as long as it's long and people click on things on the page, you're good. The confirmation, it's a picture I took earlier today for someone else, but figured it fit in with my struggle and well documented in Discord. From B Foreman to Vince Foreman. Hey, sexy. Hey, honey. Can't wait to see you. Only another week. I can't believe they sent you to South Carolina. I mean, really, they should pay you double for having to set foot in that god-awful place. When are you going to retire and stop traveling all the time? I mean, it would be one thing if you work for the government and they sent you to exciting places like Istanbul or Rome. But can't you sell aluminum sheds without having to go on month-long business trips? Oh, well, I miss you. Love, B. Aww. Alright, let's see what we got here. I should be able to tab out, maybe? I'm tabbing out. What do we got? What's this image? I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it live on stream. Unfaithful Dream King. I'm not sure what the confirmation I'm looking at is. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what I'm looking at, Maid. What am I looking at? B. Foreman hates South Carolina. Have I been to South Carolina? I'm trying to think if I've ever been to South Carolina. I don't think so. I wonder what B stands for. The party is dressed in St. Hermelin uniforms. Yes. I still don't fully understand what you're getting at, but yes, I noticed. I don't know anyone who's been to South
Control
Carolina.
room's locked from the inside.
No
Yeah,
other
I don't think I've
entrance
ever been that far north,
I think
honestly.
the only way to get it to open is to get them to open it.
I'll think of something.
Can I shadow operative into chain shot? Probably. I feel like I can probably shadow operative into chain shot. Oh, but I don't need to shadow operative into chain shot, do I? Yeah, I don't think I've ever been far enough north to go to South Carolina. You're pretty sure it doesn't exist. It doesn't. It's fake. It doesn't. Wait, isn't South Carolina the one that legally doesn't exist? No, that might have been the Dakotas. There's like one state where the like the paperwork to actually separate the state division wasn't properly filed. I think it was Dakota though. I don't think it was Carolina. My free DLC is still good, but the other one is gone. No refund either. Yeah, Sony doesn't tend to do refunds. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Maid. There we go. I've been to South Carolina a few times. Oh, okay. Here we go. Resident expert. All right, Mactier, how was South Carolina for you? Was it god awful as described by B. Foreman? Government propaganda. Mactier's a plant.
It's like an air conditioning duct. Too small to fit through, but this ought to do the trick.
What are you doing? Mike, don't kill them. There's got to be another way.
Just giving them a scare. A little something I learned in third period science.
What the hell? Fuck this shit! Ah.
Boom! You know, honestly, stealth is a lot easier if you can turn invisible for a brief period of time. It wasn't that bad. Okay, but it was a little bad. Alright, good to know. I feel like I should be more sorry to you. After I woke up after that, I felt super guilty because I kept you in the middle of the night and made you babysit you on. Oh, it's okay, mate. It's fine. I'm not bothered by it. You were having a rough time, and I was just trying to help out, alright? It's my job. That's what I'm here for. I make people feel slightly better. Stealth is really easy when you're not able to be seen. I'm also wearing a suit that muffles my footsteps. Let's see. From dispatch to more. Moscow situation. State Department shitting bricks about Moscow embassy turning into a shootout. They're asking us if this is OGA incident, and what the fuck are we going to tell them? Either we admit it, we have no clue, or we pin the tail on some retirement bait. I want all of you to pull the day's tapes and re-listen to them. Listen for anything at all. They might tell us what the hell happened. The media is going to have a fucking field day with this one, if we have the slightest slip-up of information control. So this is, of course, a reference to the last stream where we had to deal with the Moscow embassy getting shot up. I'm also trying not to curse again. So I had a little trouble reading that because there were so many curse words from dispatch. I feel like the secret to not cursing is to try to not curse in your head, so that it doesn't come out of your mouth. Because I do have a bad habit of not thinking without saying words. Sex job is to make people feel slightly better at the expense of sleep. Hell yeah! Sleep is for the weak! From dispatch to more. Georgia update 1811. Honestly, if I completely ignored what I consider to be a reasonable time to be streaming, I could stream literally 200 times more. 200% more. We received another dead drop communique from Curveball. Claims our rogue is operating in Taiwan. Great, really narrows it down. A lot of help that is. You know the drill, though. Start filtering and snooping. Because I have trouble sleeping at night. So I'm often awake at night. So if I just completely ignore reasonable times, I could stream a lot more often. But like, it'll often happen where I'm like looking at the clock and I'm like, well, I could stream now, but it's kind of late and I wouldn't want to bother anyone. But if every time I thought that I just actually streamed, we would be on Favorite Search Season 2 by now. Like, genuinely, we would probably be on Season 2. We would be done with everything. We would be so far ahead. Georgia doesn't exist, only Atlanta, everything else is void. I actually have a lot of relatives that live in Georgia. They all suck. And I'm not a fan of any of them, quite frankly. Quite frankly, they are awful. Some of them they're all Trump supporters, first off. Some of them are anti-vaxxers. I know one of them. I don't remember who this person is or directly how they're related to me because I have a very large family. But I know one of them, I guess rest in peace, died because she refused to seek medical aid because she didn't believe in medical aid. Like, she didn't believe in medicine. So she, like, locked her kid in their bedroom and she died from having a grand mal seizure because she refused to call an ambulance. I'm not a fan of the Georgia branch of the family. Not a big fan of the Texas branch either. Never met them, but they let snakes bite them because it makes them feel closer to Jesus. And that sounds crazy. That's crazy person behavior. So there's that. Also, I think George Bush is in that branch, which I don't actually have a problem with George Bush, but I believe he is part of the Texas branch of the family. So let's see. I don't swear much at home, mostly because my mom gets mad at me when I do, but yesterday I think I said the word fuck more than ever I had in a long time. I'd be there probably. You probably would be. I usually go to bed at like 2 or 3. They don't exist. You're schizophrenic. Sheesh. Oh, honestly, thank God. I'm glad to hear they don't exist. Honestly, that is more of a relief than Albara. Oh yeah, from S. Roberts to Terrace Grengar. Albara. Okay, a little more on the subject of Albara. Found an Alsamad operative that was willing to talk after a few minutes of fake drowning. He tells me Albara is some kind of academician. I have never seen... I know what the word means because I can just tell, but I have never seen that word in my life. He doesn't know what field of study or university. One thing's for certain. He's verified the prior contact claim that Albara is operating in and around Italy. I'm sure a simple check for universities in the area should turn up information on him. I'll update you if I extract more. Out of all the presidents to be related to, George Bush is a less than ideal one. I have... I know the family tree has been traced... And he was... It's... If you look at the family tree, he's actually pretty far removed from me because he was like my great-grandmother... Like, my great-grandmother's mother? My great-grandmother's, like, cousin is George Bush's mom. But I don't know which George Bush. Because I remember being told that, but I don't know if it was George Bush Sr. or George Bush Jr. And it was just now that I realized that I'm not sure which Bush it is. So it's one of them, I guess. I knew who this girl who was convinced she was related to Kennedy, but absolutely no one believed her. I actually had that happen because Bush was still president when I found this information out, and nobody believed me at the time. And I remember saying that it's like, in 10 years, every single one of you is going to believe this because no one is going to give a shit because he won't be president anymore. And I was right because I'm always right. So... From undisclosed to more, Georgia. We have a curveball rumor. To be fair, I did talk about the Texas branch. I have never talked to the Texas branch. I know there is a Michigan branch, a Georgia branch, a Texas branch, and a Florida branch. And I have never associated myself with the Texas or Michigan branches. Georgia, we have a curveball rumor of a rapid asset operating in our sector. The contact is unverified and claims to be a deep mole and gave us a valid confirmation code, which makes this rumor actionable. We're going to do this one by the books and not take any chances, so I'm opening an internal threat audit. This case is opened as Georgia, which, as we've discovered, is not a real state outside of Atlanta. Send any leads or information to that subject docket. First thing we need to know, agency. The contact doesn't give us full details on who this spy was working for. CIA, NSA, MI6, Mossad, assume anything. See, I wasn't lying when I said we're grasping at straws. In this one of ours, move all dispatches to need-to-know dissemination lists until further notice. So I believe this is actually a reference to Stephen Heck from Taiwan, which is very interesting. I've never tried going to Rome, getting this email, and then going to Taipei, actually. I wonder what happens if you get this email and then talk to Stephen. All the branches, my family lives super close to the state I live in. All of them are like one state over and are very close to the overall family. Georgia, like the country? Oh, I was thinking the state. I was thinking the state because this is an NSA. This is a CIA listening post. But yeah, it might be Georgia like the country. I don't know. That sounded like a dog. Dogs are the greatest threats to invisible stealth operatives in the world. What was I going to talk about Georgia? Oh, yeah. Speaking of Georgia, with Walking Dead coming up, Walking Dead is coming up, and Walking Dead takes place in Georgia. Agent Thornton infiltrated CIA listening post conducting an investigation into Al-Samad's preference in Rome. Thornton was tasked with infiltrating the listening post, downloading the results of their investigation, and bugging the CIA computers to retrieve further developments. Thornton was asked to avoid detection and not to engage American agents. Using creative problem solving, Agent Thornton flushed the guards out of the monitor room by sabotaging the post's ventilation system. Agent Thornton planted a bug in CIA database to monitor ongoing surveillance in the area. As the CIA agents gets information, Agent Thornton will have access to it as well. Thornton downloaded information from CIA databanks concerning their investigation into Al-Samad, accomplishing his mission. New intel available. My mom and I used to watch The Walking Dead, and then it got bad. I made it one episode into the show. I made it exactly one episode into the show, and I was like, I am not a fan of this. Level up. Alright, number 1, we're going to put a point into toughness. Number 2, we're going to start pumping pistols. I think, right? Yeah, I think we're going to pump pistols. Nice. And this increased my hit rate. Cool. It was interesting and kind of high octane. Was it? I always thought this show was super slow. Yeah, I remember the first episode. I just did not like it, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not watching this. I hear it kind of went downhill towards like the last season or so. Like I saw a video, because I'll watch video essays about things I don't give a shit about. I saw a video essay about how it kind of went downhill in the Negan season, like after Negan was introduced. Zombies are usually better in short bursts. Walking Dead, the show sucks. Now it's just generic drama and oh, look, a zombie. Well, it's in his last season, isn't it? I thought that, in fact, it might be over. I thought it was over. Let's see. Amina Tain, hey Mike, contact mine put me in touch with a black market dealer in your area. Someone operating under the name of Lucinius. I had added to a list of approved buyers on a clearinghouse store extension. Hopefully you don't need a small arsenal to get the job done, but if you need weapons and supplies, here's another potential source. To Mike Thornton, note to self, files on big excavation. Mr. Leland, the tunnel ceiling collapse along the Lufortovo tunnel was indeed due to faulty construction on our end. I'm 99% certain it's due to epoxy used on the ceiling cement. We went with short-term adhesive due to its fractional cross, and the sheet came loose. 2 are dead, 1's injured. Don't worry, Chief. I've already got the cover story rolling. The collapse took place near the entrance, and I've paid off 3 Moscow news networks to report the truck drove along the overpass that far exceeded the bridge's weight rating. This, they're reporting, is what caused our perfectly safe tunnel to suffer a minor structural anomaly. All that's left is for me to pay off the families of the dead. I'm assuming typical death rates unless you want to authorize an exception for this one. Will Henderson, VP of Eurasian Public Relations, Halbach International. And we are going to reply this to Scarlett. Not that Scarlett could love us anymore, but hey. Resident Evil is probably my favorite Thrash thing. Scratch that. Resident Evil is. Also Return of the Living Dead is great. Resident Evil is great. You know what? I forget that Resident Evil has zombies in it at all, frankly. Resident Evil, to me, is so far removed from zombies. Hello, Miss Lake. Know any good media outlets in Russia? I found some information regarding a Moscow tunnel collapse caused by Halbech penny pinching, and more interestingly, the cover-up that follows. Figured this might make for an interesting human interest story. M. Thornton. The thing about Resident Evil is it's also, despite barely being zombies, it is one of the few zombie stories that I think actually refers to the zombies as zombies. Because too many mutant. Yeah, when I think of Resident Evil, my brain kind of goes to the more like advanced, like evolutions of like the zombie virus, like the T virus or the G virus or like the vampire, like the progenitor virus in like a village and stuff, or hell, even the Plagas with their like weird alien tentacles. Like, Plagas are like aliens, right? Like, so I tend to forget that Resident Evil's like, oh yeah, there are zombies in Resident Evil, aren't there? T-virus is the zombie virus. Oh, I was thinking of the Tyrant. Yeah, I thought that was the T-virus. Autosender email. This email is from CIA Listening Post. Listening Post. Frank, Department of Defense denies it. UK, Israel, Turkey, all deny it. They're not saying this because they're afraid Saudi Arabia will bitch about missile attacks on their soil. They're genuinely unsure of who fired those missiles. Best theory we have is rival terrorists. That, of course, raises the question, why, and more importantly, where did they get the missiles? Please tell me one of your guys offered this hit. At least then we'd know who pulled the trigger. After all, denying fault is way easier than investigating a mystery. CIA Listening Post, riots in Taipei. Pete, you wanted the numbers on that riot in Taipei? Well, PRC isn't talking, so I had to pull estimates from hospitals. We have at least 100 dead, over 300 wounded, and that's leaving out 3 hospitals that wouldn't report numbers. 3 Americans were killed, students studying abroad at the time. Hopefully that's the extent of it, but there might be more reported. 1 was badly beaten and bled to death. Another lit on fire. 3rd got off lucky with a single blow to the head that caused eternal decapitation. Ugh! Needless to say, this is going to be a big story in the States. In other news, Sung is officially alive. I confirmed that. There's not just playing the Castro game and pretending the leader's still alive to keep appearances. Chet, I wonder how badly you can mess up the world. Actually, no, I don't. I think I tried once. T-virus on people make zombies. T-virus on lizard made hunters. T-virus on sharks made Neptune. Which is just a big shark, if I remember. Let's see. Mailer Damon Leyland, the file you wanted. This email was sent from the CIA Listening Post. Pete, remember the days when we weren't allowed to spy on our own citizens and only had jurisdiction over foreigners? I do. I should thank those terrorists for making my job a lot more fun. On that subject, attached is the Leland bit I was telling you about. Hope you're not trying to work up a case on this guy. He has more friends in government than Washington, D.C. whore. Now, don't lecture me about the insecure nature of this email and blah, blah, blah. We're the CIA. We snoop on people's emails, not the other way around. Chet. Mina Tang, Mike Thornton, well done. Mike, I'm glad you were able to get in and out of the listening post without any loss of life. No doubt you have a lot of hate for the government that sold you out, but I'm glad you understand that those men in the listening post are fellow citizens of yours who had no hand in what happened to you. Mina. T is short for tyrant. I think tyrants are like super advanced, further mutated or something. I'm not sure. I was under the impression that the T virus was an advanced version of the virus. And the G virus was an even further advanced version. But I'm not sure. Where's Pache when you need the Resident Evil lore? Someone told me they wanted to make a horror game. I'd give them a copy of Resident Evil 1 Remake, because I think that is an example of what a horror game should strive to be. Ooh. Resident Evil 1 is a pretty good horror game, I'm not gonna lie. If we're talking about horror games, honestly, I would probably say that Silent Hill 2 is probably the best horror game I've played. But I wouldn't ever recommend someone attempt to make Silent Hill 2. Because the problem is, right, if you try to make Silent Hill 2, you're probably going to mess it up. Like, I don't think... if you're trying to... honestly, here's just general advice, right? If you are trying to make a good blank genre thing, and you're looking for inspiration... you know, great art, good artists borrow, great artists steal, right? You should look to the inspiration, see what it does well, see what you can take from it, take some inspiration, but you shouldn't straight up, like, try to copy that specific thing. Like, you can look to, like Fatal Frame 3, Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill 2. You can be like, these are examples of great horror games. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? Let's try and make something that's kind of like this, but not this. But you shouldn't ever say to yourself, I'm going to make Silent Hill 2. Because we have Silent Hill 2, and let's be honest, you're not going to make Silent Hill 2. You are not going to do it. And I think that's I see that a lot with, like, with anime, honestly. Where, like... like the later generations like try to like copy what was done in previous generations that they took inspiration from, and they wear their hearts on their sleeve, and I appreciate that, but they're also just kind of trying to do the exact same thing, and it never really measures up to it, you know? I would say like it's better to take like a vibe than it is to take like a plot. Like a vibe or a theme or something, than a plot. And I would highly recommend never trying to take a motif, because it will not work for you. Spooky house. There are monsters in the house. Lock doors, find keys, open doors. There's scraps of notes, read them. Yeah, Resident Evil 1 is really good. Fatal Frame... I said Fatal Frame 3. I very clearly meant 2. I'm a lunatic. Fatal Frame 3 wasn't a good game. Fatal Frame 2, Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill 2. Those are some top tier horror games right there. Intel suggests, identify Jabril al-Bara at Chateau. I am not going to need to change my armors for this at all. Let's see. Intel suggests an ally of Shahid, Jabril al-Bara, is hosting a fundraising banquet at the Chateau in the Italian countryside. Infiltrating the estate shouldn't be difficult, but once you'll need to scan the guests one by one to identify al-Bara. While you'll be equipped with a sniper rifle, you should only need it if you encounter resistance. The rifle is equipped with a digital scope that you can upload images of targets to your handler and check for a match. Once you've identified al-Bara, leave the premises and deal with them as you see fit. You've acquired blah 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 information on the dossier on Jabril al-Bara, your target for this mission. Any informant has provided you with a database for al-Bara's al-Samad identities. This will allow faster identification of subjects. What about the remake of RE1? Oh, yeah. Sorry, when I say Resident Evil 1, I mean the remake of Resident Evil 1. Yeah. I haven't played the original in forever. Even Silent Hill 1 took the system, except the notes in Silent Hill are mainly puzzles, because that has more cutscenes.
This meeting is supposed to take place. What now?
Resident Evil 1 is so good on the puzzle aspect. Like, one of the things I think I like the most about Resident Evil 1 is the puzzles. Because never in that game did I ever wonder where I was going or what I was doing. I felt like every time you find an item in that game, it's like it unlocks in your brain, you know?
If you decide to shoot, just make sure you don't do it if the target's inside of a camera or another person. We don't know who Albara's meeting. So take anyone else.
It's like the item unlocks a door in your brain before it unlocks a door in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Resident Evil 1's such a good game.
Roman artist. Made a name for himself last year with a controversial exhibit in Paris. Some local juvenile offenses, but otherwise he's clean. Not our target.
I suspect I might have narcolepsy. I never thought I had narcolepsy before, but then I realized that narcolepsy doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pass out every time.
Owns a sports car dealership in Naples. Does a lot of
Like,
international business.
my idea of, like, narcolepsy is always, like, you're standing up and then you just, like, fall asleep and pass out. But apparently narcolepsy can just be, like, the feeling of being tired. Which I have a lot more often. One day I should probably get tested for that. Although it does say you get tired in stressful situations, which isn't something that happens to me, so I don't know. I tagged someone, I just don't know where. What are your thoughts on RE0? I have not played that game. What system is that on? Do I own that on PC? Does anyone know?
And nobody.
Looks like the guards are clear. Moving up to the next position.
Does anyone know if I own a Resident Evil? I think I do, right? I own every Resident Evil game on Steam
Let's begin.
except for, like, 8. Apparently I have ADHD. You and everyone else in the 90s. Although I will say there was a serious problem when I was growing up about overdiagnosis of ADHD. And even the doctor who created it said that most people who were diagnosed with it probably didn't have it.
Security guard.
They used it to overprescribe the drug Ritalin, make a bunch of money. Which isn't to say that it doesn't necessarily exist, it's just like a lot less common than was...
But that's all I've got.
I don't know if they still prescribe it, though. Like, it used to be that, like, if a kid was, like, energetic or misbehaved, they'd be like, you have ADHD. It was, like, a huge thing. It was... I think the doctor said something like 90% of cases.
Well,
It was
she's
crazy
a
high.
little underdressed.
Definitely a cold night from the
On PC, then I own it. I have to do Resident Evil 6. October. If we're doing horror month, Resident Evil 6 is what's on the docket. We're out of Silent Hill, though. We're out of Silent Hill. Think about that for a second. What are we even gonna play? We've played every horror game in the world.
We can catch the news later, provided we don't make it.
Wasn't prescribed anything. Also 20. I have more say in that kind of thing. I was diagnosed with it, but Mama Sack refused to give me anything for it. Which, honestly, I'm thankful for.
Private
Metro? I don't own Metro.
Not our man.
I could probably
But
get it.
Definitely a professional. He planned and led the assault that took back the hijacked British jet last year.
I remember reading about that. Should I get an autograph for you?
No, I work for the infamous Mike Thornton. Compared to you, he's small time.
Hell
I'm in
yeah,
a
he
position
is.
overlooking the chateau. A lot of guests tonight.
I see. Mike be very
Careful, I know. I don't want a mob after
Resident
me.
Evil 6,
Forward.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Fatal Frame 4, Haunting Ground. Oh, Haunting Ground's an idea. Yeah, Resident Evil 6 is a must. I've thought about Shattered Memories, but I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I'm ready for Shattered Memories. I don't know if I'm going to do Shattered Memories. Haunting Ground's a good idea, for sure. I have one idea for a game. Because we could do that game that we didn't end up doing before. So that is one idea. So I still have I have 2 games at least. Haunting Ground's a good idea. Maybe we actually will do Haunting Ground for once. If we don't get a better idea. We could also do that one horror game that Pache recommended that one year.
He's a curator for
Like
one of the
Tormented
museums in
Souls, I
town.
think.
His latest exhibit on the Crusades is strong.
That game has boobs in it.
Otherwise he's clean.
We all know how much I love boobs. Which one is Shattered Memories? It's like a alternate version of like Silent Hill 1, but it's for like the Wii.
Immigrated to France from the West Bank about 10 years ago.
It claims it gets into your mind.
Generation. He's practically a saint. Keep looking.
Ugh.
An American novelist. He's got a bestseller right now on corporate involvement in the Middle East.
Is it any good?
I'm waiting for the movie. Anyway, nothing on him.
Shattered Memories is also on PS2? Is it really? I did not know that. Oh, by the way, as we all expected, the Constantine Breakout fight did in fact get me tagged on YouTube. I'm sure that surprised no one. Because they were playing, like, what was it? Like, Turn Up the Radio or something?
That's Albara. That's him.
Take him out.
Hold on. A lot of State Department and Interpol records. State Department says he's dirty. Interpol says his finances are legitimate, though. And
I mean, do I take him out?
none of these State Department records are sourced. I can't tell where they came from, or when. Best I can tell, their intel was added to his sheet a few months before you left for Saudi Arabia.
He's a
I might have
murderer.
probably missed someone to investigate, but it doesn't really matter to me that much.
But I might be wrong. You can take him out, or we can abort. It's up to you.
I'm aborting the mission.
All right, Mike.
Oh. Excuse me. Alright, what do we got here? What am I looking at? Video game print ads. Escape the Nightmare. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Oh, I guess it is on PS2. I've only ever seen it on Wii. Let's see. Agent Thornton infiltrated local estate in search of Jabril Al-Jabbar, a suspected high-ranking member of Al-Samad. Al-Bar was believed to be hosting a fundraising banquet at the Chateau in Italian countryside, so Agent Thornton set up a surveillance post within the sight of the main gates, catching the last of the guests as they were arriving. You know, the real horror story would be if I restart my Dragon Age playthrough, but this time on PC, but I still, for some arbitrary reason, decide to do it exclusively with a British accent again. Let's see. Agent Thornton identified all the guests at the gate without being spotted. After failing to spot Al-Jabbar at the main gate, Agent Thornton moved deeper into the Chateau and staked out the guest house. By the way, you're probably asking yourself, can I kill people in this level? And the answer is yes. I think you can probably kill everyone. Agent Thornton identified all the targets of the guest house without being spotted. After failing to spot Al-Bar at the guest house, Agent Thornton staked out the Chateau Agent Thornton identified Albar and waited in the background to check for the complete complaint. Upon receiving the information, Albar's ties with Shahid were confirmed, but he seemed to be innocent of any wrongdoing, so Agent Thornton departed the premises after making a positive ID. It seems Agent Thornton's activities in Rome have been successful in uncovering Halbeck's plans. Upon returning to the safe house, Thornton had a message waiting for him requesting a meeting at a local cafe concerning Halbeck. Access, email, in safe house for new mission details. I'm actually still not sure what the purpose of this mission is. Silent Hill had the human centipede monster? Did it? And of course, $0 in medical bills. Could you imagine if I somehow got medical bills in this mission?
What's that beeping noise?
Important email messages arrived. This is the only time this mechanic has ever acquired. Let's see. Reply, investigate. Jabril. Are you gonna stream Dragon Age on Tuesday? Maybe. I probably won't do the British accent thing again, though. Because if I do a British accent thing on Dragon Age, that means if we ever get to Dragon Age 3, I'd have to try and get through... I'd have to do a French accent the entire time. Could you imagine that nightmare? Hello, Mike. Okay, you've totally graduated from curiosity to a person of interest. I have no idea where you've been getting this information, but it's gold mine. I'm not sure what you're expecting to get out of it, but it's gotten me a lot of business, and I just wanted to say thanks. The data you snagged, it's obvious you had to take some pretty big risks to do it. I doubt you did it for me, but on the off chance you did, well, maybe dinner is in order. I'll even let you stay for the meal. Scarlet. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Thornton. I have a friend in Moscow who owes me a favor. I'm sure she can help me get this story on the circuits. It's never the fuck-ups that cause such a scandal. It's the cover-ups. Fortunately, people never learn that, so I have a job. Scarlet Lake. I think I've read every book in P5. Did you get speed reading? Speed reading is a must, and in Royal... oh, you probably mean in real life. Royal, you can get speed reading even earlier than you can in the original. It makes things so much better. Mike, just a heads up, there's someone running a lot of web searches with keywords Mike Thornton in the Milan area. Whoever's doing it is using it through a Halbeck Milan office computer. The way office is written with the space between the two F's, I legitimately had trouble reading it. I read of Fis. Actually, no, hold on. That really does look like there's a space between the two F's there, doesn't it? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? It looks like there's a full-on space between the word off and fis, right? For office? Am I wrong? Is it me? Am I a lunatic? That looks like there's too much space there. It looks like there's a full space. It's from Silent Hill Homecoming. Oh, yes, the Downcoming. Yes. I'm less familiar with the Downcoming. I think it's just the angle I'm at. Yeah, I think it's probably just the angle I'm at. Every bookstore has no new books anymore. Have you tried Junbucho? Because Junbucho has books. Have you read every book in Junbucho? Whenever you finish one book in Junbucho, they'll give you the next book in Junbucho. Let's see. Jabril Albara to Mike Thornton. We need to meet. Mr. Thornton, if you stalk a man with political and criminal connections, kill him before he uses contacts to track you down. I know you are lurking outside the shit, but I don't know why. Consider my interest piqued. I refuse to let you intimidate me. Let's meet face to face. See if you have the guts to kill me in bright daylight. Meet me at Cafe Tronfo. I can't do Italian accents. My notes just say reply. Oh, reply investigate. Hey, Mina, I got this email from Jabril. Seems a little odd that he found who I was, and odder still he wants to talk with me. If you have a moment, see if you can trace this email for me and pull up some info. Thanks, M. Thornton. Let's see. Next book in what? I think the only books in P5 I've actually read in real life is Cinderella. Next book in what? He even gave a super rare, not to be sold book that teaches you something about status effects. Oh, okay then. Well, you might be done then. Persona 5. Made us playing Persona 5 Royal. Good game. Would recommend it. Would play it, honestly, if I could. But my PlayStation's still broken. Alright, this is one of my favorite scenes in the game. Get ready for this. Meet with Jabril Albar at a cafe in Rome and find out what he knows about Halbeck's presence in the city and how Al-Samad may be involved. You acquired a dossier write-up of Malborg.
No sign of Albara yet.
Maybe he stood you up.
I've never been stood up in my life.
Someone has a high opinion of themselves.
I'm just stating the facts. Sorry, that's...
Switch off your transmitter. If you reach for your gun, one of my men will put a bullet in your skull.
Transmitter's off. I don't plan on reaching for my gun unless you make it necessary.
Once I have the information I need, I plan to leave. You will not be harmed. Perhaps you thought you could enter Rome under the radar. You almost did. But you broadcast your location. Eventually.
I had to. You were my last lead. I'm here to find out what Halbeck is doing in Rome and their ties to Al-Samad.
And what led you to believe that Halbeck has any interests in Rome or Al-Samad?
Are you denying that either one is true?
I do not believe you would have come here without evidence.
And what makes you think that?
You aren't here in an official capacity. You are operating under Alpha Protocol.
Interesting. Considering the program's secret, I would have expected you to say traitor, unless you have insider knowledge.
If you think you're the first to be abandoned by your government, you would be wrong. You are Michael Thornton, a veteran with an impressive record of solving seemingly impossible problems.
I'm an operative now. After Saudi, I had to change my 5-year plan. I'm guessing you're here to confirm the file you have on me. Anything else you need to check?
Reports place you as someone loyal to your country and who believes in carrying their missions through.
Is that so odd?
In today's day and age, yes. But not to me. And you were the one who crossed paths with a German mercenary in Moscow. Z.
I get around, and she was a little insistent we get together.
I am not surprised. She is a mercenary, but hardly professional, or discreet, it seems.
Huh. Do I sense a lover's quarrel?
No, merely contract dispute.
So you know a great deal about me, and I know who you are. You're Leyland's right-hand man, his lackey, toady, henchman. And you wear those gloves to keep the blood off your hands. I've read your dossier. You've lived a full life. Kuwait, South Africa, that oil refinery explosion in Moscow. It's like a concert tour with you.
Yes. You, on the other hand, have managed to enter Rome quietly. I didn't know you were here until an hour ago. You're skilled at keeping a low profile. No murders, no public announcement. Very impressive.
What happened to Albara?
Dead, of course. Once you'd ID'd him, well, his use to me was at an end. In less than a day's time, you have already managed to cause me considerable inconvenience. Now, tell me what you're doing here.
I was tracking down a lead, and it looks like I've found it.
I see. So you thought all you had to do was wait and we would speak. Interesting.
What I don't understand, though, is why we're talking at all. Unless keeping me alive is important for some reason.
I have orders. and I am a cautious person.
So this is a social call, warning me away? That's polite of you.
I believe you have nowhere to go for help. In that situation, it is a rare man who goes to his enemy's door. So, yes, this is a social call. A warning. You have proven yourself capable, but pursuing this course of action will not serve you any longer. Go underground, hide, but stay out of our way.
Or else what?
Or people you care about will start to die. We know you've been in contact with one of your fellow agents. That contact will die if you persist, and then we will kill you.
Those are your terms. Allow you to carry out your mission, and I stay out of the way.
Yes.
You realize I would be betraying my country.
Yes, and that does not change my terms. I understand your feelings, and I encourage you to set them aside.
So we're done here. I leave Rome, leave you to your plan, and that's it.
Yes. What you do next is up to you, but there are only two immediate choices. Leave, you live. Stay, you die.
You don't seem like the corporate stooge type. In fact, you seem like someone who doesn't take orders at all, especially from someone like Leyland.
Are you questioning my loyalty?
I am, but not in the way you think. I've read your dossier. From where I'm standing, it doesn't seem like Halbeck's any better than the governments that you've served with. In fact, they're like a government unto themselves, and if you think for a second that they give a rat's ass about their employees, then you're twice the fool. Do you seriously think they wouldn't leave you out to dry if they had to?
Your attention to detail and history borders on obsessive. You may live through this after all. Leave Rome. If we see each other again, it will be the last time.
Oh, I love that scene. It's so tense. Oh, it's so good. That's such a good scene. Oh, I love that scene. Anyway, yeah. Do you have a 360? Did you take it? Did you take the stuff? Did you take the workout video? Be honest, you took the workout videos. You know what? No shame in that. You gotta get your fitness up. Keep that bod tight. I'm sorry. That seemed inappropriate. I take that back. I mean, not the idea that you should keep that bod tight, but the phrasing was a little gross, and I apologize for that. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I'm sure I've told this story before, but when I was first playing Persona 5, I didn't really know much about it, and I was just going on like character designs, and I was a really big fan of Futaba's design, so I went in there with the assumption that I was going to romance Futaba. But as I was going through the social links, I ended up loving On, and the way they phrase her ending, like, they do this thing with the Lover's Arcana all the time. Like, they do it in Persona 4 also, where in order to, like, not date the lover, you have to be a dickhead, right? Because at the end of her social link, On talks about how, like, no one cares for her, and you can either say, I care for you, or the others care for you. And the way that's phrased is like, well, I don't give a shit, but like everyone else does. It's so bad. They do a very similar thing with Rise, which made turning Rise down in 4 also hard. Like, I forget exactly what they do in 4, but it's a real pain in the ass. Then you learn Futaba was a neat gremlin. Yeah, and then I met Futaba, honestly. Brother had a 360, but it red ringed. He's looking into getting a new one. Yeah, I bought like 3 360s. Those things just die constantly. Luckily, I think I can actually play basically all of my. I'm pretty sure I can play. Basically, I checked. I can play pretty much all of them on my Xbox One, so that's great. I can. I'm pretty sure I can play Saints Row 1 on Xbox One. So assuming I can emulate it, I can actually bring Saints Row back on. All I need to do is get Saints Row 1 done, and we can bring Saints Row back onto the docket. So, Bonus objective. Marburg expressed admiration for Agent Thornton's ability to keep a low profile in Rome, and Thornton had been, so covert that Marburg hadn't known he'd entered the city until recently. The connection between Marburg, the VCI, Halbeck, and Alcimad's presence in Rome is still unclear. Marburg threatened that any further investigation attempts would result in the deaths of Agent Thornton and anyone else allied with him. Upon returning to the safe house, Mina picked up the phone trace from a VCI employee working with Marburg, attempting to contact the local authorities. Contact Madison St. James.
I confess, you slipped into Rome almost without us noticing. You were even more difficult to track after that.
Between Halbeck and local authorities, the locals were the tough ones.
No matter. Mr. Marburg found you. That must have been a surprise, meeting up for lunch like that.
When we talked, he had a lot to say about Halbeck and some suggestions about my involvement with your corporation.
Really? I can rarely get 3 words from the man.
Well, feel free to have him threaten you whenever you get tired of listening to yourself.
I'd be curious to hear more, and your first impression of Mr. Marburg. What did you discuss?
Oh, we laughed, we cried, we had a grand old time. That Marburg, he could do a killer impression of you.
He described you as a man of your word. Patriotic, I believe, also came into the conversation. But Mr. Marburg was not always the best judge of character. Nor does he instill much loyalty in employees. Speaking of which...
she's like, why are you nice to me? And your answer is either romance or we're teammates based on the context of relation to the two of you. Talk about that after you say I feel it should have been something like you're like a sister or some shit. Oh, yeah, that would be a better option. Yeah, some of the ways, the I don't want to romance you dialogue options are worded is not great, but the ones that always stick out to me is the on one and the resay one, where I'm like, okay, that's not a fan of that. Because it's either, like, be actually mean, or...
Mike, we may have a problem.
I mean, Haru's disappointed, but